All right, as always, here's the risk disclosure. Trading futures is risky. Know what you're doing before you do it, and you can lose all your money. Also, this live stream is not financial advice. It is for educational purposes only, and the live stream is not intended to copy my trades. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope y'all are doing well. Hope y'all all saw that Apex is doing 90% off. That's amazing. Well, it's amazing also because it renews at 80% off. It's just crazy. Let's see. Yeah, basically. I mean, dang, so cheap. So cheap. I mean, it's like $17 for 30K plus tax. I mean, 50K plus tax. Morning, everybody. Morning, Flip, Jim, Doctor, Jean, Jim, Johnny, Fernando. Good morning. Yeah, the renewal is 80%. Yeah, now if they did one 90-90, that would be crazy. No one would ever cancel those accounts until they're funded. So, yeah, we have news coming out in 8 minutes. About 8 minutes, so probably not going to take anything until after that. Some high impact news. All right, so when I was thinking about canceling some 25Ks, but I'm yeah. Yeah, that helps solve a lot of questions. If you ever had questions on, what you were doing with some accounts, maybe you could create some new questions. But yeah, if you were thinking about keeping any or not renewing or whatnot, yes, pretty easy to just go ahead and start with some 90% off ones. When the news comes out, I'm actually I got to get up and do something for a second. So since we don't trade during, when the news report comes out, I'm going to walk away for a second. and then be right back. Just a FYI. So I gotta grab something. But also I wouldn't say switching up my strategy, but making a little bit of a adjustment, because I don't know if y'all have noticed, I haven't been taking many simplicity entries the last few weeks. They've mostly been LREs, and that's because, when I take a simplicity entry, I don't like my stop to be huge, 15 points or more. Because if it does lose, then that's basically my one trade and I'm done for the day, if I take a loss. And I hate limiting myself to one loser in a day, because I feel like, just opportunity, there's a lot of lost opportunity. I don't like to limit myself to that. So because of that, what I decided to do is, for simplicity entries, I'm going to, and yesterday I was just talking about, I hate micros, but for my simplicity entry, I'm going to enter with 5 micros. So it's basically $2.50 per tick. And I'm doing that because that way I can take a full simplicity loss and it equal about what I normally would with a low risk entry with the LRE. That way, one simplicity loss is not going to take me out for the day, because I hate that. And what I'm going to do, let's throw up the simplicity here. I'm going to trail it, and I'll still look for the LRE. So let me go back and find a nice little run. Okay. So for example, what I'm going to do, like if I took a simplicity short here, I'd enter with my 5 micros, run it down, and I would, on a pullback, and I'm only doing this because the way the trade copier works. Normally, what you could do is, on a pullback here, go ahead, like while you're still in the simplicity trade, it pulls back. Of course, this one didn't work out, but I don't even know if I would have taken it. But anyways, when this pulled back, instead of exiting or, whatever, when this pulls back, you just enter in as an LRE also. So you're basically adding to your position. And then if you get stopped out, you get stopped out of the whole thing, the simplicity, the LRE, everything. So add on to the position. But the issue with that, with the trade copier, is if I'm copying, let's say I have this account that I'm doing this 25K challenge on is my leader. Well, actually, Sim will be leader because that's why I have Sim here, because of the micros. It'll be the leader. And as it's coming down, my 25K is following, right? So if I pull back and I enter here as an LRE, what'll happen is it'll trigger another 5 micros because it's still the leader on that simplicity side. So trying to make this make sense. So anyways, what I have to do is, if this comes back, I'll have to give back some. And as it pulls back for an LRE, I'll just have to exit my simplicity and then enter right away with an LRE right here. Is basically what I'm trying to say, with a full mini. So instead of staying in and just adding to the position, when it pulls back, I'll have to exit. So I will be giving back some. I'll have to exit and then take the LRE. So that's what I'm going to do. But we, as I said, so you'll be seeing me flipping a lot, flipping accounts and strategy, switching to my LRE, ATM, simplicity. I want to come in with a 40 tick stop and then adjust it to where it's supposed to be. And as soon as I'm in the trade, I'll swap it to my LRE ATM. And that way, when it pulls back, I hop out, hop in a LRE, and hopefully it all works out. Yeah, I already have 4 chart. I got 6 monitors, so I already have all my monitors up. I don't like flipping screens. So it's pretty easy for me to do, to flip, switch accounts and all that. All right, news is about to come out, so I gotta, since we're not gonna trade during news, I gotta get something real quick from the other room, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to grab some things out of the other room. And yeah, news is out. News is good to go. Let's see. Throw this up here. Yep, we had news spike up, run down, kind of do this wiggle. Now it's trying to come back down, but let's see. We do have consumer sentiment. Actually, hold on a second. 8:34. I may be willing to hop into something here soon if we get a good move. Consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. We got Fed member talking at 8:45 in about 10 minutes, so we got to make sure we don't get caught in something in the market stall. Okay, we do have a simplicity short. I'm holding off, though, for right now because we're approaching the bottom here. If we look at the 30 tick, see, here's a bottom going on. We have a little stack. This very well could come down right to this ice level and stall. So this is not a simplicity I want right now. I want it to keep going first. You see how it's kind of hit right to that ice level. Let's see if it'll push through or not. And on the 50 tick, right at that bottom. So that's just where we got to be careful whenever you're trying to, take a simplicity. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jan Hughes. Morning, Vegas. Saw some of y'all hop in there while I was walked away for the news. See, and that's exactly why I didn't take that simplicity there. It got stuck right at that bottom level. And look at that. Couple OP printed, a cluster. So, got to be mindful of that. Looking left, right? Looking left. And, yeah. So, that means I'm not taking an LRE because simplicity hasn't ran down. It just had, hit the bottom of that zone, that range. Even if it pops up here, it's not one I would like to take. So, morning, SS. Yeah, Ezra. So the sniper system, yeah. So definitely start off with all the sniper setups. It took me about 2 years before I started getting into the LRE and simplicity. I'm not saying it has to take you that long, but it took me that long because my discipline was just terrible. And but to get the system down, the sniper system down itself, it took me a few months to really understand it because I studied it like if I was going to college or something, and really, really studied it. And so, like I said, it took me a few months. I focused primarily on the HD trade and the ETX. And whenever I really understood it, and I was just taking those two, That was the first time I ever got funded a couple years ago with another company before Apex. And first time I ever got funded, and I only took those 2 setups, and my win rate averaged right between about 85 to close to 90% win rate. Just taking those 2. So yeah, exactly, Jimmy. Sniper is the foundation for everything. I use Sniper even right now with taking my LREs and simplicities. As y'all see, I mean, every day I use Sniper to read the market. And then once you're really feeling advanced, like, oh man, I can read the market. I know where it's going from here because of this or that. Then you start, taking a little bit bigger trades, make that risk reward ratio a little better. Eventually then you jump into LRE and simplicity if you want. Don't have to, but it's kind of the way the progression works. Exactly, doctor. That's what that was my problem. I would take, I'd be up 2 wins for the day, 0 losses, and then take one trade that basically wiped out my gains for the day, and then I'd lose control. So that was my literally first 2 years of trading. And that's why I want to make that, or not why I want to, I am making that discipline and psychology course, because I mean, the people that know me know how bad my discipline was. And for me to flip it completely around and be able to hold a PA for 10 months without blowing it, is for me, that's breakthrough. And that's why I feel like some of the things that I did can help some people, and it's going to be a free course. So yeah, especially in the Thrive. So Ezra, after you feel like you've gotten really comfortable with boot camp setups, all that good stuff, I 100% recommend you purchase the Thrive event and study that one just as hard, because that one is where it really changed the game for me, where I really started reading the market better and everything. And there's a video in there that John does about taking LREs and using the order prints, and it's amazing. It is amazing. And that's when I started taking LREs, after I watched that video. All right, so yeah, for sure, Ezra. Yeah, just plug into everything. All right, so we do have Fed members speaking at 8:45. For those of you that are joining now and didn't hear me kind of when I first got on about my new strategy, not new, but as I was saying, for simplicity, I will be entering in with 5 micros versus 1 mini, because I'm not afraid of doing it with 1 mini. As y'all have seen, I've done it plenty of times. The problem is if that loses, that's my one and done for the day. I'll typically lose anywhere from 30 to 40 ticks. And on 1 mini, I'm done for the day. And I hate giving myself only one opportunity, one losing trade for the day and having to call it quits. So I am going to be entering with 5 micros, which is half the position. And that way I can take 2 losers like my normal strategy does for simplicity. And then when simplicity is running, when I'm in a trade, that way I'll hang in there. I'll follow the simplicity rules versus just tightening up too quick like I normally do. And once it pulls back to the solid line, I'll hop out of that, and then I'll hop into an LRE if I like the LRE with a full mini, how I have been doing. So that's kind of my strategy going forward. Okay, as you can see, we've kind of created a bit of a range here. We got a clear bottom. I mean, we hit that bottom and we have not been able to break it. It's pulled back up to this dynamic. Oh, you know what? Let me refresh my dynamic magnets and flux levels since the news came out. Okay, there we go. Yeah, let me throw up the 50 tick chart. Bam, right there. You can see that, what you're talking about there, Jimmy. Look at that. Whoo. That tells you all you need to know right there. We had a nice run down at about 5 a.m., 4 or 5, whatever. Little chop there, ran down, came back up, wait for the news. Bam, we had this news. Now it's kind of in this zone. I definitely want to break out below or above this area. If we look on the 30 tick, you can clearly see there's that zone, big zone, 124 up to about 175. 125 to 170, about a 50-point zone. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But we have Fed members speaking and news at 10 a.m. So just in case, keep that in mind in case the market's waiting for something with that. If we have a breakout below this area, I may take a simplicity short. We have the dev right below, but it could be enough. Oh, I almost hopped in. I missed it. I almost hopped in right below this wall, and it just shot down. So that'd have been a quick 10 points. I'd be up right now. But okay. Oh well. I'll wait for an LRE now. Because you see how it couldn't break this wall? A bunch of times it couldn't. Then it came back and gave a short right under it. And I almost hopped in, but as soon as I was about to press the button, it shot down. So I would have got in really late. So now I just got to, I missed it. And I just got to wait. Sometimes that happens. Especially with simplicity. If you hesitate for a second and it shoots down, you can miss it. And make sure you don't chase it. Just wait for an LRE. See, on the 50, we do have the breakout now. Breakout closed. We have another bar. Hopefully this one closes too. That'd be nice. There we go. So I'm going to get my LRE ready. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a 20 tick stop on this morning, since it is kind of moving pretty good. Let's see, an LRE would be up at that bottom again. Between clusters, right at that Paul. HD. I may have... A lot of clusters here to the left on the 10 tick, so... Doctor. Dang, I kind of wanted this one too, but I hesitated. I was trying to think if I wanted it because we had all these clusters to the left. But as you can see, I'm okay with missing this one though. But because it would have won, but we have the double clusters here, so it very well could just chop around this area. So I'll wait and see if this continues or not. in choppy regions, let's say, in price. It can. I mean, I haven't really noticed in particular, but keep in mind, so it does tend to chop at the deviation levels. So that's where, as you can see, price is crawling on the dev level right now, and it's leaving a bunch of the clusters. So anytime, and like Daryl, when he takes simplicity trades, he loves to go from dev to dev and tighten up at the dev. So yeah, because once you, if price moves away from the dev and it starts heading towards another, typically you can look for runs to it. And then once it approaches it, just be ready for potential chop. Like right now. Yeah, but I haven't really noticed, or I guess I haven't really paid attention much between the in between the dynamic magnets. Now it can bounce in between, which sometimes it'll be clean up and down. Sometimes it'll turn into chop, but yeah. $30 tick, 3 clusters there, chopping around. So now that LRE is gone, I'm going to flip back to Sim and my Simplicity ATM. That way, because all my accounts are following my Sim with micros. So I may take an entry above this level here if it gives a nice Simplicity entry above. Maybe, because well, it's at the top. Wrong chart. It's at the top of the 50 tick, like it's creating this chop box. But if we can get an entry going long, I might take that. But then I want to see if it's going to turn into a chop box right there. But see what it's doing too. It's that support is turning into resistance as well. On this, you can see it pretty clear right here, right? Support, 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 broke through. It's just turned choppy, but it's holding as resistance now. So that's typically when it's clean. Y'all know, I love this where it support, 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 breaks through, runs down, pulls back and tests it, and gives me a short LRE off of that to go down. Those are the ones I love. But it was so ugly. This one was ugly. And it's hit this quite a few times now underneath. It's holding up here. It's getting closer, closer. No real signal it's going to bust through and go long, though. Looking at the 30 tick as well. We just have chop. We do have this crash here. So, but no real indication it's going to go. We don't really have any more news to be careful of before the open, but I know the Fed members speaking now. I don't have it streaming or nothing, so I don't. Okay. See if it's going to break this or not, if it's going to hold as resistance. Now, if it does hold as resistance and we start going short again, only thing under this 30 tick mini magnet, this bottom here, I mean, we do have a couple things on the 10, nothing really on the 30 except for this UI, but probably right here is where it'd get hung up on. 30 tick ZOI, 10 tick paw, and a dynamic magnet. So it'd probably come down to here and maybe get a little hung up on there if it does go short. But I mean, that would be a good, you could probably good 10 points out of that if it goes short. See if it breaks this or stays there. Looking at the 30 tick, it's trying to lay another mini magnet on top of that one. So that would be a signal that if this bar closes up, leaving that mini magnet on that mini magnet along with these 3 clusters, it'd probably start pushing up, back up if this bar closes up. If not, then forget about it. Then if it breaks this mini magnet, we're going short. Okay, we didn't get an entry for simplicity yet. See, here's that level I was talking about. So now we're really close to that level. I would want my entry to be underneath it now. No, I don't use tick strike because I primarily trade pre-market, and it's pretty useless pre-market because all the stocks and everything is not open yet. I'll do my little bit of afternoon trading, but it's just, I'm mainly, when the market's open, mainly taking LREs. All right, we may get a short underneath this now. I want to see it break. Okay, it broke. See if we get we didn't get an early entry. I guess we kind of got an early entry, but I would wait for the regular entry here. Because you see it's retracing. Maybe leaving a mini magnet on the 30. Hit that 100 level, 13,100. So see, it barely popped through that level, and it's retracing. Might get my 4-bar chop on the 50 if this can come up to 122. We definitely have the 3 bars, so that's good. And the reason why I like that, for those of you that don't know, is after 4 bars of chop on the 50 tick, usually we'll get a breakout. It might not be on the next bar, but after 4 bars, the breakout bar typically is when price will go ahead and start running. Because what comes after chop is usually a trend. And if we can take advantage of that trend, then great. And if you're not taking Simplicity or LREs, you can use that as a direction for your sniper trades. You know, if you trade with the trend on your sniper trades, you're going to do well when you're taking valid trades. So if you get a breakout long and you take a sniper HD setup going long, you're probably going to win. Same thing. If it pulls back in a long trend, gives you an ETX off of a nice level, and you're going back long with the trend, probably going to win. Oh, and that's, by the way, Ezra, when I was talking about earlier, the first time I got funded by only taking those two setups, I only did them in the direction of the trend. No range setups. If trend was long, I only took a long. If trend was short, I only went short. All right, we got the 4-bar chop. Let's see if we get a breakout here or not. Let's see. So 4-bar chop. We'll see if we get a breakout up or if it turns into a 5th bar and a breakout short. Either way, fine by me. And if we do get a nice long above this 125 level, if we get a long above this, I will hop in it. I know there was technically an entry, but I'm waiting for a break of this level first. All right. Let's see if it was a fake out or not. I will target probably this mini magnet up there at about 145, unless if Simplicity, tells me to get out. It is struggling to go, but three clusters. Just going to hang in there. I like that it laid this mini magnet right here on this gap level. But it did give us this cluster. If this closes up with this mini magnet, that'll be nice too. Just chopping around a little bit, some clusters to kind of decide if it does want to go or not. As you can see, my stop's just underneath these levels, which is A little bit below the solid line there. And if it closes below the solid line, then I'll close my trade. Might hit a little bit of a turbulence looking to the left on the 30 tick. But I'm thinking since it's a breakout, if this breakout happens, should get a decent little run. See if this area holds strong or not. It's pulling back to the solid line now. This is not an LRE I would take, though. For anybody considering an LRE. Because it might end up getting out of this one for a loss. We'll see. Hasn't quite closed underneath it yet. It closed at the solid line. Okay, yep. Now it's going to... Yeah. This is going to be a loser. I'll throw my stop there. So this one did not go, but I'm leaving my stop there because give it a chance to see if it knocks me out or not. Because this is where the bar closed on the 50 tick or simplicity chart. Right here. So this would be my exit if it comes back to it. If I get a chance to get out at even, I will. But it's more than likely going to come down and knock me out. But you see, this is only going to be equivalent to one LRE loser for me instead of a big loss. Because I'm doing it in 5 micros. Okay. It knocked me out of my accounts. So the sim account didn't get knocked out yet, but I'm going to go ahead and close it. All right. So that one did not work. It did not go. Got rejected. So now Simplicity is looking like it wants to come back short. I will not take a short here, though, because looking at the 30 tick, we have these triple clusters right in this area. I'd want it to come down first before I go in a Simplicity short. But look at that. See, so glad, because that loss would have been it for me, right? That would have been my day. But now I've only lost 14 ticks. So, good to go. Still in the game. And I gave myself an opportunity to make a nice trade. So let's see if this goes short or what happens here. Man, look at that. I mean, it had some nice resistance, broke out, and just stalled. It might try again. Let's see what happens here. But now, this time though, I would want it to go above this to the left before I enter, because I wouldn't want to enter back here again and then it come right back to this top and do the same thing if it goes long. So I definitely want it to come, because you see I got in here and it came up a little bit, laid this red eye zone and said nope. So if this does go long, I want this to go long above this 130. Which it might do it here. Let's see. It's trying to lay an Xbox. Okay. There we go. Both are angled up. Now let's see if it breaks this high. Put a buy order there. I picked the wrong ATM. Okay, let's see if it goes now. Yeah, an LRE could be good as a heads up. Like I said, I'm only going to take I wouldn't want to take an LRE just yet because simplicity entry. I wouldn't want it to come back down to this area because then it may continue to come down. But we did get the breakout bar on the 50 tick. So that's why I liked this simplicity better. So if we could start making our run up to around this mini magnet here and head towards this dynamic magnet, that'd be great. And then take an LRE somewhere in that area too. See, I'm just holding on to my stop here. But you see now, like I wouldn't want to take this LRE. Because it's very well could come right back down. It's just not going to want to go today, it looks like. If this doesn't come back up from here, then yeah. Yeah, there's no HD. I mean, it's a nice level, but we have all the clusters oscillating. I wouldn't risk it on an LRE here. Especially because the simplicity entry was right in this area. And it hasn't. I mean, it came up, but it didn't really go on a run. So this one might not work either. But we'll see. I like that it's trying to lay a mini magnet on this level though. And it's trying to lay that mini magnet on this level on the 30 tick as well. I just can't click over to it right now. I'm just hoping it doesn't come back up to the ZOI and just stop there and come back down. I hope that does not happen. As you can see, Simplicity's trying to flip back red. So, see what happens here. Hopefully it holds up. It's not looking good though. Where this cluster is, that's basically where the solid line stopped. So if this comes back up above my entry there, I'm going to put my stop right here just below this cluster. And if it ends up coming back down and knocking me out, it'll be a reduced risk. But I'm only going to do that if price comes back up above my entry there. But it's looking like it wants to come back short again through this wall. So I don't know, that mini magnet on the 30 is still there, like if it wants to lay it there. So just hoping this level holds up and lets us go, pushes it back long. Yeah, it's pushing right through. Technically, you would have got out here. I'm going to put it right below this wall, though. At the close of this bar, you would have got out. So yeah, it is hitting that ZOI like I thought and kind of rejecting right there. I'm just going to go ahead and move my stop here. If it knocks me out, because that's where I should have got out, or where you would have got out. If it comes down and knocks me out, that's fine. But if it can come back up above my entry and I can get out at even, I'll take that too. It's just, trade's gone now. So. Ooh. All right, I got out at even. Well, I guess I lost 2 ticks. All right. Yep, market's waiting for that other news at 10 a.m. So it just did not go. It didn't go, as you can see here. Started to go. It had it was perfect for my break, right at my breakout. My breakout bar closed, had an entry, and immediately just came back, hovered the wall, lines flipped, so went ahead and just, trade's gone. We just got into some chop there. And, yeah. So it's 9:17. Yeah, I'm probably just going to call it a day now because getting close to the open, and I don't really see this going on any runs before the open. It might, but I took, yeah, so that was 1 loser, 1 break even basically. And yeah, I'll probably just settle at that. So I want to take another one. I mean, we're obviously seeing, so also that's what happens too. If you take a couple of fake outs, we know it's eventually going to go, but now we just don't know when. So I wait, let it go, and just wait for the LRE. So now I won't take a simplicity entry, and I'll just wait for the LRE. Because it could continue doing the same thing, right? Like it could continue. Give another entry up here. As soon as you get in, it go up a little bit, and then pull all the way back down, flip, reset, all that good stuff. So now I would want it to, we're close to the open, but normal circumstances, I'd want this to, let's go ahead and just let it run. Let's run. Okay, I'll miss the simplicity, but I'm just going to wait for the LRE because now I know, okay, this time it did go. Now let me wait for the pullback. Because I tried this one twice, right? Above this break, and then here above it again with the breakout bar on the 50. Both times failed. So now I'll wait. Market has to prove to me it actually wants to go, and then I'll get the LRE. That's kind of how I look at it. But if I didn't switch up my strategy, I wouldn't have been able to do that because that one loss would have took me out if I didn't go to the 5 micros. So, all right, well, 919, I'm going to call it a morning. Still a profitable week, so because I only lost 16 ticks, which in micros, let's see, what does that come out to be? It was very, very little. Oh, it's not showing the ticks here on this little chart down here because it's NQ and I, took them in MNQ, so it's not going to show it. But yeah, so that was only $84 plus commission, so $94 after commission. I can live with that, but I gave myself the opportunity to make a lot more. So yeah, we'll wrap this one up with the $94 loss. All right, y'all. Have a great weekend. Watch the 10 a.m. news. It's Friday. Don't do nothing stupid on a Friday. That's my motto. And I'll see y'all Monday. Trade well, everybody. Take care. Grab those 90% accounts. See y'all.